Coming up here on Warriors Today by Chat Sports, could Draymond Green possibly be the next head coach for the Golden State Warriors? We're going to be breaking down what the front office has proposed to him, but also Draymond Green has said about possibly taking this opportunity once he decides to retire. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, but first things first, if Draymond Green becomes the next head coach for the Golden State Warriors, which I'm going to be honest, I never in a million years thought this was going to be a possibility. But Draymond Green said there's been some rumblings, so let's go on ahead and get into it. But I want to make sure you guys are completely up to date. If anything happens, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. Join 63,000 subscribers already on Warriors Today by Chat Sports. All right, let's talk about the next few years here for Draymond Green. Steve Kerr recently said in an interview with NBC Sports Bay Area that, yes, he does have a contract for the next 2 years. But would Steve Kerr coach for the next 2 years? That's a question he's asking himself. He said, I haven't gotten to that point yet of whether or not I feel like I'm done. He said, there's new guys coming in. I love the team. This last year was great. He was like, I'm not done coaching the Warriors or in the NBA just yet, especially since he's coaching Team USA later this season. But if he does end up retiring in the next 2 years, could Draymond Green end up being the next head coach for the Golden State Warriors? Well, Joe Lacob actually mentioned something to Draymond Green about possibly taking over this historic role that Steve Kerr, who just celebrated his 10th anniversary as the head coach. And here's what Draymond Green had to say about his conversation with Joe Lacob about this possibility. He said, I'm honored, man, with the conversations I've had with Lacob over the years and him saying to me like, yo, when you're done, I could see you one day coaching this team when Steve Kerr's done. Like, I could see you working with this team. I would love to see that. And Draymond said that means the world to me because that means the man that owns the organization that I play for is watching me play basketball and saying, this guy can one day coach my team. Again, big business. These assets are not small, man. Like, you're going to just trust somebody. That's not small. That's a big effing deal. And Draymond Green's right. The fact that everything that Draymond has been through since being drafted to the Golden State Warriors, obviously he's been a leader on this team. So there's no surprise here that Joe Lacob's like, hey, I love the voice you have in the locker room. I love the influence you have on these guys when he is using that leadership for the better. And it's pretty nice to see that Lacob is looking at Draymond Green not just as a leader on the court, but off the court, and could maybe possibly take over what Steve Kerr has done in the last decade. And to be honest, Draymond Green does have a pretty extensive resume when it comes to the NBA. He did sign a multi-year broadcasting deal with TNT in January of 2022, so he is expected to make his debut once he is done with the NBA. He's actually currently been popping in on Inside the NBA with Ernie, Chuck, Shaq, Kenny, while the Warriors had not been playing in the postseason. So whether or not Draymond wants to continue this broadcasting career, well, he does have a deal with TNT. He's also a 4-time NBA champion, All-Star, a 2-time All-NBA, 2017 Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he's got the credits for winning. There's no secret about that. I did throw in the back part of this, though, is that you've got to include that he has been suspended 6 times in his NBA career. Now, that's not unfamiliar. Jason Kidd, he's been suspended. Steve Nash, I mean, we all get it. But Draymond Green to be suspended 6 times, it does leave a little lingering, hey, what would he look like in a coaching role? But overall, I want to ask you guys, what would Draymond Green look like in a coaching role? Do you want Draymond to coach the Warriors in the next couple of years in the future? Heck, maybe even 10 years down the road once he realizes maybe broadcasting isn't for me. I miss basketball. I want to be with the team again. Go on ahead and comment why or why not you think Draymond Green should be the coach of the Golden State Warriors down below. While you guys are doing that, I want you guys to go on ahead and also go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. And if you use the promo code CLNS, you're going to get a first-time deposit match up to $100 on Prize Picks, our sponsor here on Warriors Today. I've been playing it way before they became a sponsor. To be honest, I love the deals they're doing right now for the WNBA. Plus, they also have numerous deals going on for the NBA postseason. Not to mention, tomorrow is a reoccurring promotion called Flex Friday. You can put in a $20 play, and if you don't win, you're going to get your money back. But I logged on to my Prize Picks like I do every day. I saw this one, and I was like, I need to take this. There is a deal right now for the WNBA that if you select a 3-pick power play, which means all of these have to be successful, they'll actually increase your payout by 6 times. So I did this for $15 for a chance to win $100. I got Alyssa Thomas having more than 10 boards. She's averaging nearly a double-double right now in her debut for this regular season. Kalia Copper, who just drained 38 points. She's been averaging more than 2.5 made three-pointers throughout the WNBA regular season. I got to take more on Copper. And then you got Dewana Bonner, who has been insane down low here for the Connecticut Sun. I've got them having more than 18.5 points. These are my picks. I always pick more. I think life's a little too short. I always pick them more. So if you guys want to copy my picks, all okay with that. If not, go on ahead and make your own picks. Or you can go to the promotions tab in the Prize Picks app, and you can play along with celebrities like Stephen A. Smith, Meek Mill, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Several people play Prize Picks. That's why it's #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. Pick more, pick less. It is truly that easy when you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Let's bring it back to reality, shall we? Excuse me. Draymond Green said he wants to play about 2 or 3 more years here in the NBA. He's at about 34, 35 years old right now, so that makes sense. You just heard DeMar DeRozan saying, I don't really want to play till I'm 40. So I'm starting to notice this trend about guys that have been so successful in their NBA career of just wanting to play maybe until they're 37, 38. So knowing that Green doesn't want to retire, doesn't want to get out of it at all right now, means that there is still a couple more years for Steve Kerr to hold that reign, and also Joe Lacob in the front office to figure out what they want to do. But you also have to think Draymond Green is not just a basketball player. I already showed you he signed a multi-year contract with TNT for broadcasting rights, but he also has a pretty successful podcast in the Draymond Green Show. He talks about controversial topics on the NBA. He gives his takes on whether or not this player should be the MVP or this player should be the MVP. He's constantly talking about trending topics in the NBA, so even if he does decide to retire from the NBA, if that podcast continues to be successful, he'll still be involved in the basketball world, which maybe he won't want to go to the coaching side of it all. And I'll tell you what, man, there's no question Green knows ball. I'm never going to question that. There's no question either that he's a leader, albeit he has had some pretty rough go of it with some players, a.k.a. Jordan Poole, decking him in the face. You know, obviously that's not what you want, but you're going to have tough guys on your team. And if he could take over the coaching job, I do think that he would do a good job, but maybe adding some things to his resume like an assistant, or working on just defensive specialties with an NBA team. Something like that, just because I do think Steve Kerr has done a tremendous job in the last 10 years, that taking over that position for anybody, once he's done, is going to be a huge position to fill. And I'm not sure I'd want to take a first-year head coach, whether it's Draymond Green or not. And plus, in my opinion, you've got to take the suspensions into account. There are several times just this year in his middle 30s where he was suspended indefinitely because they're like, dude, we don't know what to do with you anymore. We suspend you for 2 games. It's not enough. We suspend you for 2 months. It's not enough. So now he had to go to rehab. He had to figure out his mental behaviors when he was playing on the court. And sometimes when I'm thinking, hey, I see Michael Malone gets red in the face. He's charging onto the court, talking to these referees. I don't know how Draymond Green would be discussing a controversial call with a referee, knowing he still does it on the court, even when he's not involved in the play. So he's going to have some words for refs as he has the coaching polo on. But let's hear what Draymond Green has to say about his future as a head coach for the Golden State Warriors or any other organization in the NBA. Green said, now when I take a second to step back, when I look at whether it's front office or whether it's coaching, if I'm honest with you, I have zero interest in either one of them right now. The reason I don't have any interest in either one of them is because I've been on a basketball schedule my entire life, man. And the reality is, as special as it is, you just miss so much. Green's got kids. Green's got a wife. And even what's so important here is that J.J. Redick, who stepped away from the NBA and is now in his broadcasting career, which is what Draymond Green will probably have a similar path to, J.J. has talked extensively about, look, it's the training, it's the offseason. It's not even the regular season that's so much of a toll. It's what you have to do to continuously be in shape. So it is a 365-day-a-year schedule. So I can 110% see why Draymond Green's like, look, I need a vacation. And I could see him taking a few years in the broadcasting world, really just, going up there with Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley and former players and seeing how he fits in there. But maybe in the next 5 years or so, I could see Draymond Green being like, you know what? I do want to talk to the front office. I want to take my talents back to the court because maybe that's where he feels he fits best. Do you want to see Draymond Green or could any other Golden State Warrior be the next head coach? I'm going to be honest, I think Steph Curry would be a phenomenal head coach. I think he could definitely do something like his father is doing. He's the announcer, the broadcaster for the Charlotte Hornets. I could see him going the broadcasting route, but I could see him following in the steps of Steve Kerr, being the player and now being the coach. But if there's any other Warriors you guys could see fit for that position, go on ahead and comment that down below. While you're at it, be sure to hit that sub button for me. Like I said, if I ever make a breaking news video, the next Golden State Warriors head coach, Draymond Green, that's going to be bananas. I want you guys to be a part of it. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me. That way you guys don't miss anything that happens on the court or off the court with the Dubs.